welcome to another Video Games to the Max. This is episode 136, and we are the official For One Game Zone podcast. And I am your host, Sean Grammer, and with me today, my co-host, Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
Alright, so, Marc, anything going on with you since this last week here?
Ordered No Man's Sky, but it's not here yet.
Damn, internet taking too long. At least it's shipped to you, though.
Yeah, but it's DHL, and I don't know how well they work.
You'll probably get it not too... I mean, does it have a day where it says you're supposed to get it?
Next Tuesday.
Not too, man. Only a week after. Not bad. Could be worse, I guess. Like a month after or something.
If it was a month after, I'd be canceling that order.
Yeah, for real. Well, yeah, I mean, we got some things brewing that we're already in the planning stages of. I won't. We'll leave that in the lurch for everybody until something is actually there. But at least we got good things coming along for this show and all the other shows and everything else. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those weeks where there's not a ton going on outside of the fact that No Man's Sky came out and everybody's sort of talking about No Man's Sky. So hopefully next week we'll be able to have our discussion on that. It does sound like it sort of lives up to the billing. There are a lot of, the reviews are all talk great things about it. People I've heard talking about it are positive about it. Kind of that it's slow starting, but once you figure it out, Are you, have you seen anything on it?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I've seen has been like, it's good for solo play, or if you just want like a huge galaxy to explore, which I do. I don't really, care about playing with other people. Like, that doesn't interest me. Yeah, some stuff sounds weird, but they're adding a bunch of stuff later on, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think they were gonna probably add, like, I guess, other ways for you to meet people.
Well, more like base building. They're adding. I guess that's like some other big feature that people want that they're throwing in there. So it's like fine.
I like the idea of you get to build your own base. Give you
Yeah,
more
but
personality.
Kind of, but I guess for me the whole point is you're traveling from planet to planet. Like, unless you like a home base somewhere, and then at what point does that become kind of prohibitive? Like, oh, my home base is 50 light years away from where I am right now, so that'll take me 2 hours to get back out there.
Yeah, like, what if your home base gets attacked by someone? Like, will you have a way to
fast travel,
defend it or whatever?
Yeah.
That's sort of that's a big deal, because if you're gonna have that be interactive and not just be something that like only you can look at, then they've got to make a way for you to be able to get back there to defend it and everything else.
But the game looks real pretty, so that's all I really care about.
That's a good thing, of course. Well, something that also should look really pretty is the PS Neo, or at least you think, anyway, at least as far as the games are concerned. Sony has placed September 7th as the date for the event happening. I get totally why they didn't reveal it at E3, but just to have a special event for this thing, does it make you think that there's going to be more attached to it than been rumored or anything?
It'll probably be a little more powerful than what was suspected beforehand. It's probably not going to be as powerful as the Scorpio, but it might have like a bigger technology bump than it originally had. But why not? They're in the dominant position, so they kind of afforded this. Hopefully it has like a different design. Like that'd be kind of cool. And yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah, I'd imagine it will look a little bit different, so that there's a reason for you to sort of have a Neo outside of, so you can kind of distinguish the two. I
It'll have
think.
it. It'll have a clear shell.
Yeah, I mean, even if it is a different color, I mean, it's still something so that you know, okay, if somebody walks in and you go, okay, well, this person is the Neo, you know. I don't know if they'll want to do that, but I think you do kind of want to have a little bit of personalization for it so that, you know, uh, I mean, to me, when I buy something new, even if it is sort of the same, you know, because you're gonna, even with the older times when you've had like the Slim and stuff, it still looks different than the original version. So that's always a plus. Yeah, I mean, it'll be cool to see them running stuff on the Neo and be able to tell a difference, and you know, hopefully it doesn't affect them negatively, because you know there's gonna be those people that go, oh my god, why is there another PS4 coming out and all that stuff, you know. I mean, you think you're gonna get that after this announcement if you really showcase what the thing can do?
I don't think so because, well, compared to the Xbox One, I doubt it because the Xbox One still has problems even with the Slim model, like the way the hard drive is set up, for example, or like how laggy the interface is. So as long as the PS4, as long as the Neo still has some of the, like, as long as you can replace the hard drive in it, like as easy as you can the current PS4, that's all I really care about.
I mean, that's been a thing since what, the PS2, so I'm sure that will not be touched, because that's one thing that Sony has been really good about, is that they give you a way to be able to change the hard drive yourself DIY. So
Maybe it'll have like the Emotion Engine chip, so you can have PS3 backward compatibility.
I think that's wishful thinking there.
If they did that, then everyone would get pissed.
Yeah, and plus it would absolutely kill the PS Now thing.
Yeah, but I don't know how successful that thing is.
I mean, didn't they just add more games to it like a couple of months ago? So they're still trying to.
Yeah, but Sony has had a long tradition of holding on to really, like, being obstinate about failing technology or services to the point of going like, just please give it up already.
True, but they usually don't offer solution for that either.
Yeah.
And we've seen what they do with the Vita. Just, hey, well, Vita's still there if you want to play indie games, and there'll be those people that will still make games for it, but you know, don't expect anything else from us. The story of the life of the Vita, pretty much. Speaking of hard drives, though, the 2 terabyte hard drive, Xbox One, it's limited. Which to me, that's like, if I'm wanting the Xbox One S, I'm wanting the one that has the biggest hard drive. From the get-go, kind of weird that they would just make that one the limited version and not the ones that have the smaller hard drive.
It is in a tradition of Xbox One screw-ups. This one to me is pretty up there, actually. Because you already cannibalized Xbox One sales as it is, like with the old system. And I introduced the new model with the 2 terabyte drive, but you made it limited, so once it runs out, it's out. Meanwhile, the 1 terabyte and 500 gigabyte models aren't out yet. So who's gonna buy it?
That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you do that when the one that you showcased at E3 and everything else, you made it seem like there's only one model and it was a 2 terabyte hard drive. And then all of a sudden now there's different SKUs that have a 1 terabyte and a 500 gigabyte one. And I think all that people have been asking for is to have a bigger internal hard drive, because a lot of people don't want to have I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, I bought the Seagate 2 terabyte one, and it's just really small, and it kind of hangs at the end of my Xbox One, and it's whatever. But there's a lot of people that don't want to have the external thing.
Well, it takes up a USB port, and it adds extra heat and just crap in the entertainment center or where you have your console. And the bummer about this whole thing is is the Xbox One S is really like shockingly easy to actually get into and like take apart.
Mm,
And you pop off the back cover, the bottom cover, and you have access to the hard drive right there.
right.
I mean, you see some other stuff like the CPU fan and like the power supply and the Blu-ray drive, but if they just made it modular or just said like, make the bottom part like two pieces and go, here's the hard drive part. If you want to slide a new hard drive, go ahead. But since the original Xbox, they have not done that.
Are they worried about like just piracy or what? I mean, like I don't understand why. I
I
mean,
think
obviously the 360 they made a killing selling the extra hard drives
I
from
think it's
Microsoft themselves, but
yeah, but they're not doing that with this one.
right.
I think for them, I honestly think it's just a matter of control. Like they want to have control over all facets of this thing. Like look at how you upgraded to Windows 10 like the day of, and look how hard they were pushing that to people. Like
Yeah.
they like to control the messaging of crap, and it's kind of scary when you think about it.
I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, that's kind of like you said, it's their deal. Like they are all about making sure that you understand.
You will do what
Hey,
we you will do what we tell you.
right? Yeah, like
uh,
they they had me rushing home that night because I was like, oh crap, I got 20 minutes to get here and
yeah,
upgrade to Windows 10, and
but the thing about it is, even at like the Xbox One S that I was talking about, they can probably open the bottom part. Even if you slide a new hard drive in, it won't work
right, exactly.
because you need the right firmware, and so yeah, it's just a hassle. Meanwhile, with the PS4, you slide a new hard drive, it goes, all right, format, let's go.
Yeah, you go to their own. It's Sony's official website. You download the thing. I did it for my PS4. I wanted to do it for the PS3, but
You didn't even need to do that. You just
yeah.
literally slide the drive in.
No, you have to go get the actual like latest update
Huh.
from their website
And
and put it on a flash
when
drive.
I saw people doing that, might have changed. Like they may have been earlier then, but
No, like all the guys that I saw, you had to go get the actual firmware from Sony's website. It's just a button you press,
yeah,
and then you put it on a flash drive. You put the flash drive in there, you upload the firmware, and yeah, it's not a big deal, you know. So, and then you could save all your save files to the cloud too.
yeah. So
So,
it's pulling them back down.
right, all you had to do was basically reinstall your games unless you had an external drive that you pulled stuff from, but it's not a big deal. Like you just download them, and within a day or two, you got all your games already again. So, uh, I mean, for me, it makes too much sense with these things. Like, why would you want to get the least numbered one, especially with these where you have to install everything?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. But
Like if anything, the 2 terabyte model should have been the baseline, and then should have gone up in hard drive space.
exactly. If you want, yeah, like 2 terabytes should have been the model you get, like what you showed at E3. And then if you want to get maybe the 1 terabyte, it's there, but the 2 terabytes should always have been there. And then if you notice that people are not buying the 1 terabyte, that's the one that goes away, not the other way around. But I'll leave it to Microsoft to do everything backwards.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of did things differently on the show here than we normally do. So I know you got Headlander to review.
Yeah.
How's that?
It's cool. It's a little Metroidvania game where you're a floating head in a jar, and you can attach yourself to robot bodies who have like powered laser keys. And you're just trying to find out what happened to your body and stop this evil AI guy. It's a little unstable. I'm playing it on PS4. I've had it crash like twice, and I got stuck in a few areas where I had to like reset the game. So
Oof.
that's not great, but it has a really good art style, some good humor, some annoying areas in it, but they're okay, I guess. Like this one area, you're in like a chess game, and it's like a nightmare to get around. But yeah, I mean, I like Metroidvanias, and this is pretty much way up there.
Does the save feature autosave, or like you didn't lose anything when that
No, no,
happened?
it checkmate it check not checkmates checkpoints pretty regularly. So like every room you enter, I think it auto saves.
Ah, okay, that's good then. So you don't lose anything there.
And I wish there was like maps of the game up on like Game Fact or something because I'm missing. There's a ton of secrets in the game, and I just don't know how. Like I found some of them. I found most of them so far, but there's a few of them I just don't know how to access. So I just want help with that.
There's not a FAQ or anything there
After
for it
that's
yet?
like not that's organized the way I want it to be. Let's say that. And no, the fact that the only fact I found is like I'm like 4 hours ahead of this person writing the facts. So
Oh, that doesn't help you. No.
like I'm currently at like 80% done at the game.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like I have the mission right now to like go back to your home base, and I imagine that's like the end of the game. So
Okay, yeah. So you're not too far from finishing it then.
no, but like I said, really cool art style, like good humor, like good aesthetic overall. Like it's like a weird '70s like robot future,
Okay, that sounds cool.
and like a lot of psychedelics are happening, and tie dye
Oh,
and stuff like that.
oh well, now you have me sold. I'm good with that stuff happening. Or yeah. So I mean, it's short then. It's not.
Yeah, I mean it's not like gonna be like a. It's not like Symphony of the Night where you can spend like 50 hours playing it. Like I spent 6 hours probably so far, and I've almost beat it. So
Oh,
it's, I think it's only $20 online, maybe 15. Arcade, not arcade, Adult Swim games made it. So yeah,
not bad
one
for.
one of one of the better offerings I've seen from them.
Yeah, because I saw quite a few more that they were making in that big. I think that was a thing that they were doing for E3. So that's good that they have one that's sort of on the positive side. I
Well, they've
think.
had good games, but a lot of their games just you get overloaded.
Okay, I mean overloaded with just too
Like
much.
visuals, or they just throw so much crap at you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one doesn't. Like it like drops or doles out upgrades and stuff pretty intelligently. So
That's always a plus. Uh, Having upgrades that are actually worth something.
yeah.
Uh, so I played and beat the first episode of Telltale Batman. I actually enjoyed it for what it is. It's short, it's Telltale. So, I know there's a lot of people that they are all about um, making sure that you just want to only play these games when they're all out there, and I can understand that point. You just want to be able to play through it in 10 hours and be done and whatever. You kind of you get the three versions of Batman in this game, which is what I enjoy. You get the hand-to-hand combat Batman, and they try to be as faithful as they can. I mean, obviously they do have to slow it down a little bit because you still have to be able to do the arrow directions and the button presses. So it's not like it's super speedy and there's a chance you're actually going to fail or anything. But there were times where they did do a few things too fast, and there was like no way I was pressing a button that quick. But it didn't seem to really affect what I was doing in a negative way. So I don't know. Those might be just glitches or just be something of slight me not paying attention right at that moment or whatever. But for the most part, the combat stuff is actually pretty good and it's fun. Um, you also get to the majority of your time with the actual story is you as Bruce Wayne. So you get to see kind of Bruce Wayne's side of things and what he goes through, and you're trying to. This is that time where you're trying to get Harvey Dent's running for election. So you're going through that story, and you get. I mean, Alfred tells you a lot about he's worried about you, so you'll get that. You'll get reminded quite a few times about the fact that he died or that his parents died. So if you have a problem with that, that might be a little bit of annoyance for you. But the cool part that I thought was nice that they added in here is you do get to play Batman Detective. And so you get to link up, you get to like basically recreate a crime scene as part of the first episode. And I thought it was really fun. Like you get to link up certain things that happen, and then he kind of goes through it like a detective, trying to figure out what happened and whatever. And so you go to different parts and try to link up different parts so that eventually he reveals the crime scene. So I like the fact that they put in the different versions of Batman. So you sort of get in 2 hours, you get a complete version of if you've never, for some reason, you're playing this game and you've never really got into Batman before, or I don't know why they would think that you're not at least knowledgeable in some form about Batman playing this, but in case that you're not, in case you're just a big Telltale fan and you just play anything that they come out with, I think you get a nice shot of what you get out of Batman, what people like out of Batman in the 2 hours. So for me, it was a good, I wouldn't say great, but it was a good first episode of Batman, of the Telltale Batman thing. So that's good, at least.
How's the voice acting?
It's good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like
It's a ringing endorsement.
awesome or whatever, but I didn't really notice anything that's like totally off. Like everybody's voices sounds like they should with the characters and stuff like that. You meet some other main characters in this first episode, so that's cool as well. Hopefully you'll get to meet more as the time goes on, but yeah, I mean, the voice acting is kind of what it is. It's not Mark Hamill, it's not Kevin Conroy, but I think they did decent. Yeah, that's pretty much it on that. I did get to play. They had a nice Capcom sale going on for the Xbox 360. Yes, I still have mine hooked up. And I know there's people are going, why the hell would you still use an Xbox 360 for stuff like this when they have nice sales going on? They had, I think it was like all the Resident Evil games were on sale. The Resident Evil 0 and 1 were still $11. Same thing like when the PS4 had them on sale not too long ago. So I chose not to go that route. I picked up Bionic Commando 1 because Rearmed was free for both PS. It's been free before on Xbox 360 and it's been free on PS3. So I have them on actually both systems. And so I had two, so I was like, oh, let's pick up one. It's like $3. And for everything was either anywhere from $3 to $5 that I picked up. But I got the DMC collection and DMC, the reboot, Darkstalkers Resurrection, and Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So for the prices that you're getting them at, I don't think they're bad, and I mean, the DMC games are pretty hefty games, so didn't think that was bad. I've played bits and pieces of DMC 1. I've never actually gotten to really play any of the Devil May Cry games, so I was sort of like interested.
Did you buy DMC on Xbox 360 or Xbox One?
All on Xbox 360. None of those games are actually backwards compatible.
Well,
So,
DMC
yeah,
One, there's a version of DMC One on Xbox One, and it's also
yeah,
on sale.
it was. But how much was it on Xbox One?
I can check real quick.
Yeah, see, because it was like $3.99 on the 360. So
Yeah, but they. Oh yeah, it's probably too much. It's $9, but they
it's not
actually
too
did
bad.
did stuff to that version to make it better.
Well,
But if you like
yeah,
it, I mean, if you enjoy it, you can always go back to it and get it again later.
that's true. Uh, Darkstalkers Resurrection was okay. I mean, it's a sort of, it's just a collect. It's pretty much like, isn't it like Darkstalkers 1 and another game like mixed together,
I think
something
it's
like
one
that?
in. I think there might have been only 2 or 3 Darkstalkers games, and I think it has either 1 or 3 or 1 and 2. Um, but it's did by Iron Galaxy, and they do good port work. So
Yeah, and I
like
mean,
it has all those like weird side stuff, right? Like do
mhm.
5 fireballs and get more points, and
Yeah, exactly that stuff. I mean, the fighting games, it's a fighting game, so
your favorite.
it is what it is. I mean, I kind of just I got into the characters from playing the Project X Zone and stuff, so um, just playing the game it's good. It's if you crank up the difficulty, they actually give you a challenge. But yeah,
I can finally cosplay as Felicia.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm waiting on to do the cosplay. But yeah, it's alright. But speaking of
I actually may grab
game,
that.
yeah, it's not. I think it was like 375.
To me,
So
I checked, it's $4 for me, but still,
oh, it's 450. I think that's what
yeah.
it is. Yeah,
But I mean, I think it's normally 15. So
yeah. So it's not a bad. Yeah, you still saving I think like 75%, something like that. I mean, Nintendo had to deal with two of their franchises getting fan made games made of
and
them.
they were big fans of both of them.
Yes, so big the Pokemon Uranium one uh, was knocked down in about 30 minutes. So it did not take long for people to lose the ability to download that really quick. Um, Apparently, it includes 150 new. I mean, I did watch the trailer. It includes like 150 new Pokemon.
I should ask you, are those new sprites, or are they just like repainted sprites?
They sort of do look new. I
Okay,
mean, they, they
I
don't
didn't know.
look like they don't look like the Pokemon that was already there.
Is
So
there like a blue Pikachu in there that, or something like that? But I didn't know. I don't know Pokemon that well, so
the couple that you do get to see were sounded fine, and like they sort of upgraded the UI a bit and everything. And I mean, obviously the town is very much modeled around after the towns in regular Pokemon, but and they liberally used the music as well. So they did not cut all the corners, but they probably it's supposed to be made for 9 years, so who knows?
I thought it looked pretty impressive. Like, because they're never going to put that on a PC or home console. So if
Yeah,
someone
I
else
mean
wants to do it, go ahead.
if it really was coming out on a 3DS, I think it would look fine. I mean, it looks like better than the other Game Boy games that are not the 3D ones, but obviously not as good as the 3D ones like X and Y and the Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but still pretty damn good for somebody. I don't know how long or how many people were involved in making that, but it looked pretty damn good. I have not actually seen the Metroid 2 fan made version, but it's called AM2R, and it has enhanced graphics from Metroid Zero Mission and a better soundtrack. So
I've played it. I didn't beat it or anything. I've only played like an hour of it. It has the gameplay from Zero Mission, and that's what I kind of like about it.
oh, that's good because I like Zero Mission too.
Like the whole like hanging from ledges and stuff like that.
Oh, good.
And Nintendo didn't do a damn thing when Metroid's 30th anniversary came out, so why not let this dude do it?
Right? Yeah. The problem is they're not going to because they can't profit off of it really, so they're just going to kill it. Which sucks, but I'm sure you can find it, in the nether worlds of the internet if you want to. Uh, I don't know about the Pokemon one because they killed that one pretty quick. I mean, I guess that guy could once again upload it to something, but
Well, I have it, so you're set.
no, that's good. That's good. So Dead Rising and BioShock's remasters have release dates now. Dead Rising's remasters come out September 13th. Each game is $20, or you can buy all of them for $50. Dead Rising 2 is missing the story DLC, though. I guess you'll have to make up a big stink, like with Marvel Ultimate Alliance, in order to get that, possibly.
No, because it's peripheral story. It's like a prequel to Dead Rising 2 and kind of like a sequel. So, it's kind of annoying, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't impact the game one thing. Like the characters in Marvel Ultimate Alliance did impact the game to a degree.
Yeah, that it does affect it where there's certain characters you can't have in there at all. That's kind of a bigger deal. I could see that. BioShock also comes out September 13th.
Yeah.
Does not have a price. But it will have video commentary from Ken Levine and Sean Robertson. I would assume it's anywhere from 50 to 60.
Yeah, I'd say probably 60.
Those are still 3 really, really good games, and they're worth owning if you've never had them. I mean, they've been done sales, and sales for these games, and BioShock Infinite was also PS Plus. That's how I have it. So there's a chance that if you still have a 360 or PS3 that you use, you can certainly get it cheaper. Get the original version cheaper if you want. But if you want it all in one package and get the remaster version, these are games I would consider getting. Anything on your end for that?
I hope to review the BioShock one. I'll give Adam the Dead Rising one, but I like BioShock more.
Don't blame me on that one. That's where I would go as well. I'm not a big Dead Rising person. Quantum Break, another Windows 10 game that appears on Steam, September 14th.
One day after.
One day after. That's good. For the PC users, you can get it on Steam now, and I'm sure, like you said, it will run better and everything. So, are you going to be getting it now?
I'll probably ask for a review. I'll probably give you it because they want people to review this version and not the crappy Windows 10 version.
Right.
It doesn't require DirectX 12 or Windows 10. You can run it on a Windows 7 system, which is nice. And since it's not locked to Windows 10, it's going to run better.
Yeah, awesome. Because I've heard from a lot of people that they have issues running things on Windows 10. I actually still need to try to see how my games run on Steam on Windows 10, but
what games?
Well, I don't even know what.
Because if it's pretty low level stuff, that'll run fine. And it's not a problem with Windows 10 running games. It's a problem with Windows 10 running Windows 10 exclusive games.
Oh, well, I don't have any Windows 10 exclusive games, so.
Yeah.
That problem.
I actually tried Killer Instinct, and that ran great on my laptop. I was surprised, but I know if I tried Quantum Break or Rise of the Tomb Raider, it'd probably run like garbage.
Would not be, yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I don't think I have anything that graphic intensive.
Oh, no.
So, yeah.
What I was going to say, though, is from what I read, I think Quantum Break is going to be cheaper on Steam also. I think it's going to be $40 instead of $60.
Oh, well, that's awesome. It makes it worth the wait then for people who didn't buy it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not, but I saw like a $40 price tag. I was like, yeah, that's about the right price.
Uh, and the Buzz game developers, those are those trivia games, right?
Yeah.
Uh, they have closed after 13 years of making games. They also made the Blue Toad Murder Files. I never played any of these games, so can't relate to that, but it always sucks to hear developers closing down. Anything?
Yeah.
Have you played any of this?
Uh, I may get the Blue Toad Murder Files. They're on Steam. It's like $5 sometime. I liked Buzz Quiz World. Like, I have that copy still. I wish they'd made one for PS4. Like, that would have been nice. I just like trivia games like that, and I don't really like You Don't Know Jack, like that style of trivia, but a straight trivia game is fine, is good to me.
Yeah, I mean those are always fun to have, and people making those always a plus for me.
Plus,
You know,
I was reading on their website or like something about the company that they were like one of the few developers that wasn't horrible to work for. Like they had
oh
no crunch time, and they had weekends off, and it was just like a 9 to 5 job. And to most developers, that's like insane.
yeah, because most of the time they treat you like crap and then they let you go. So,
Yep.
but yeah, it sucks for these guys that had so much fun making these games and then no longer.
They made a bunch of them too.
Yeah, I remember hearing about there being a lot of them out there. Just I never got to really check them out.
Like that was a PS2 franchise that made its way to PS3, and I'd say, all right.
So Nintendo is going to price cut several Wii U and 3DS games starting on August 26th. 26th, sorry. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD will now be $20. Nintendo Land, I don't know why you would want that. Lego City Undercover, which is actually decent. Tomodachi Life, that game for the 3DS. Lego City Undercover, the Chase Well, one of those is Wii U, one of those is 3DS. The Nintendogs, Cats, Golden Retriever, and New Friends for 3DS, yeah. Just so ready for that. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which isn't too bad, and Animal Crossing New Leaf. So, some good games in there that you
Yeah.
can get for $20 now. And they're also going to release a new Super Mario 3D Land bundle for the new 3DS for $150 with 3D Land pre-installed. 3D Land's actually a pretty good game. So if you have not if you don't have a 3DS at all, which kind of seems unnecessary now with the NX, but if you're not one of those that wants to buy the NX like straight off, and especially with the NX not having backwards compatibility, there are a lot of good games out there for the 3DS, and of course it also can play DS games. 150 not too bad for that.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
it's a Mario game, so those always are pretty well, or do well.
would you get a 3DS for that price or?
I mean, me personally, no, just because I don't handheld game that often. Like, that's kind of like, I don't have a bus ride, and I don't like to just kind of curl up on a couch, and I don't even like to do this with my PSP. I mean,
Yeah.
there's plenty of 3DS games I'd like to play, like the Zelda games and maybe Smash Brothers, stuff like that. But I mean, those are essentially console games just ported to a small device.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
already have a console. Like,
Yeah, you don't need the portable version of it.
Like
I
that's the nice thing.
understand that.
That's the nice thing about some of the PSP games like Lumines was it was very quick, in and out, or they're just simple ideas. You're not trying to navigate like a 5-floor dungeon, juggling keys and the iron boots and shit like that.
Yeah. Um, Bethesda has said that they are actually looking into making NX games. So that's another third-party developer that seems to be signed on here.
I wonder if they just mean porting over Fallout 4 to this thing.
Well, they're saying that it apparently goes by developer basis. It's not Bethesda that just says, okay, all the games are going to show up on NX, but it's on their radar and they're looking at it, and if a developer says they want to make games for the NX, they'll do it. So good news for Nintendo. I'm glad to hear that there's third parties lining up for this thing, because that always hurts them when they don't have them. But of course, this is the thing. Everybody always lines up at first to try to get in, and then if it doesn't do well, they're not going to stick around. You think Bethesda would actually do more than just make Fallout 4?
Maybe port over Skyrim, but they don't have that many games. First off, Doom's not coming to that thing. You can be assured
Dishonored
of that.
2, maybe.
Maybe not even that. I mean, like, aside from Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U, like, what other violent games were there?
And that, whatever, the Dead something game. The one that was made by the guy that works on Dead or Alive.
Oh, I know what game we're talking about, but The Devil's Third?
Yes, Devil's Third, yes, that game.
What good violent games.
Yeah, that game was bad, yeah.
And I think they're shutting out the multiplayer servers to that game, like, this year. Or, like, within, like, I think it is this year. And that game just came out this year, so that should tell you something.
Telltale kind of teased that they might be making a Mr. Robot Telltale series. I've always been wanting to get into this show, and perhaps knowing that there is a game out there might get me to do it. What about you? Do you think this could actually be a interesting?
I haven't seen the show. The only thing would be they need to get the voice cast for the show, obviously.
Right, yeah. That would be, for me, a plus that you have to do.
I mean, in the past, they've been pretty good about that, like Back to the Future. Or at least they got, like, a good sound alike for, like, Marty. But, yeah. I mean, why not? Now they just need to do, like, a burn notice Telltale game. Bring back Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even with that series being gone, you never know. I think, right now Telltale has proven that they can sort of make anything into one of their games, so I'm not going to knock them if they want to do this, because I think they've proven, seriously, that there's been games that we thought, no way, and then Tales from the Borderlands winds up being one of the best ones ever. So I will certainly have my be reading and making sure, seeing if this one's good, just like a few of these have already been. Sony, last week we talked about Ubisoft announcing Just Sing. Well, Sony not taking their time. Well, it's not Sony, it's somebody else. I don't know where this comes from. I guess this was at some point a franchise. But We Sing, coming to the PS4 and Xbox One. You can use up to 4 USB mics or 8 via companion app, which turns your smartphone into a mic. It'll have 30 songs and their videos. And yeah, so looks like the singing karaoke games are coming back into the fold after the band games came back last year.
Well, we all know they did super well, so why not?
Hey, Rock Band is still out there and doing okay, so
Now Microsoft can bring back Lips and
And Sony can bring back
SingStar.
SingStar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting for that.
I mean, SingStar, you can laugh about it, but SingStar was at least
Oh
profitable.
no, I like SingStar
Like
actually.
popular, like Lips bombed hard.
Oh, this was bad. Yeah, it's just ugh. And the Karaoke Revolution wasn't bad either. It's just
Konami makes
Harmonix.
that, so they're not gonna make it anymore.
Yeah, Harmonix moved on to Rock Band, and that became the thing. So they didn't have a need for Karaoke Revolution because they basically put that into Rock Band. But yeah, I mean, like I would like to see SingStar come back because that was actually a really good singing game, and the videos were very well done and everything else. So
I think that was some developer out in Europe that I think either folded or is doing something else now. Like, I can look it up, but yeah, I think they're doing, like, they did something else.
oh, well, that sucks. So the Chronicles of Narnia will move on and continue to be. They're going to start with the silver chair at Sony. I don't know if they're going to try to do remakes of the ones that were already made by Disney. I mean, The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe actually wasn't bad. After that, they kind of just got. They were not good.
This
so
is just like another desperate young adult novel ploy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it is, but Chronicles of Narnia has a name, so
Yeah, but so did Ender's Game, and
yeah. I mean we've seen like the Divergent do well, and we know how well.
except, I mean, it's not anymore though. Like, that's the thing is, the last Divergent movie is going to be a TV movie,
Right? Yeah, because it was that bad.
and it's like the bottom is falling out, guys. I mean, get over yourselves.
Yeah, like Hunger Games was one of those things that just hit at the right time, and
Well,
it had a
like
great cast and everything.
charismatic actress, and like a novel enough plot at the time. I mean, it's just battle royale, but who cares?
Right.
But yeah, all these stupid ones like the Fifth Wave. It's like, give me a break.
The Percy Jackson stuff, the Narnia, like there was a reason why Disney stopped making it because they just were not.
Yeah, not profitable.
Right. And there's 12 books in the series. Are you really going to make 12 movies?
It's even like what is it? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Like, that is it's not young adult, obviously, but that is a supremely popular book series. They made one movie that kind of bombed. So
right.
Guess what? They're not making any more of those. There's plenty of books in the series left to go.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess Sony can try their hand and see if the silver chair is good, and if not, I guess don't make any more.
They gotta save all their money for Ghostbusters 2.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and it even went through like Disney made the first two, and then Fox took Voyage of the Dawn Shredder, and that thing bombed. Just hold on, I have to stick in my charger for my headset.
It's fine.
Fine.
But
yeah,
like
Lord.
they're expecting Twilight or Hunger Games levels of excitement and profitability, and it's like,
right.
No, like that's like essentially lightning in a bottle. So, and like they even milked those franchises for as much as they could, like they're doing with Harry Potter now.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they already had the new Harry Potter book and everything. So
it's like J.K. Rowling was like, I wiped my ass for 5 minutes, and here's a book. It's like, all right, we can make 6 movies out of this. Let's go, people.
Yeah, and she's got the Beasts of Whatever thing coming out too. That sort of has a sort of tie to Harry Potter.
It's like a prequel, American prequel. It's like, okay, because that's what everyone wanted to see from this series.
Right. Oh, they're just gonna, they're gonna keep milking that thing until it just doesn't make any money. That's just how it is. And people will buy the books, so I guess why Speaking of money, Sony is losing money on Ghostbusters, 70 million in fact. And this probably means the sequel that Sony did say was happening probably won't happen now. Probably for the better, because this movie was bad.
Yeah, I didn't see it, so I can't judge it like on its quality. I can judge it by like what other reviewers I trust have said about it and like the trailers. I don't care that it's 4 women in the roles. Like that, who cares
Yeah.
about that? It's the fart humor and the lazy and bad jokes that got to me, at least in the trailer. And yeah, it just looked terrible. Like the original Ghostbusters looks like a better movie than this one.
Well, I mean, the original Ghostbusters was actually a really good movie.
I don't mean like I don't mean like from a comedy perspective or anything like that. I mean like as a film. Like this movie looked terrible. Like just cheap look. It actually looked cheap looking, I thought. And all the CGI looked terrible and like not convincing or scary.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that's what they had to learn the hard way with Star Wars was sometimes going back in time to using practical effects is not bad.
Yeah, like in Star Wars Episode 8. I mean, it had CGI in it, yes, but it was done to enhance like the practical like existing effects. That's what you want. You don't need to have like all the background is in CGI, so everyone's just acting against a green screen. It's like, well, then everyone isn't acting against anything, so they have no investment in what's going on.
Exactly. This, at least you'll get the nostalgia people if, and instead of you get all these new people to watch the movie and they still don't care, so. Yeah, that's how it goes. Sometimes you got to bomb to figure it out. If you would think that they just wouldn't make any more of these, but
well, speaking about that, I was telling you about the Crow remake they're trying to make for the past 5 years, 7 years.
Good Lord.
Since Jason Lee died 30 years ago.
Why? How? You guys have tried so many times to make this movie. And it just dies every time you lose the lead actor, you lose the director, you lose this. Like, there's probably a reason for that, right? Like, just.
It's Jason Lee's curse. Ooh.
Yeah, just don't do it.
Like the first film, or the first Crow film. That's it. Like, aside from the fact that like Jason Lee died, and it was 20 years ago, not 30. But even if he didn't like die, that is still a good enough film. Like,
right.
You could go back and remake Spawn, because Spawn was shit even back then. But The Crow, like, it was done by a very good director at the time. Good acting, good cinematography. Leave it alone.
They've just got to have this thing about remaking everything, it seems like.
And they've made 3 Crow sequels, and they have been increased. They've been worse with each iteration. The 4th is one of the best, like, worst movies you could ever see. If you're a fan of Buffy or Angel, it's worth checking out.
Well, that's kind of sad, because Buffy and Angel are actually pretty good movies.
No.
Or shows, sorry.
Well, the bad guy is David Boreanaz, who's Angel.
Okay.
And if you think he chews scenery in Angel, he goes above and beyond in the Crow 4.
All right. There you go. Well, if you love you some David Boreanaz, you get plenty of that. That movie. Yeah, I think I have not seen this Luke Cage trailer, so you'll have to.
I did. It looked good. It had a different vibe than like Jessica Jones or like Daredevil. Like a lot more street level crime, or not the stupid ninja crap in Daredevil. It looked a lot more I don't want to say blaxploitation, but looked a lot more gaudy, maybe like urban, and that was kind of interesting. Like there's a great shot of, I guess I'll assume the main bad guy. He's talking about like being the king, and in the behind him is a literal picture painting of a king wearing a throne, and he's perfectly silhouetted like to be wearing like the painted crown. And I said, this is great.
So this is different than the one they showed at Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, it's longer. It's about 2.5 minutes long.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. I'll have to check it out for sure when we get off of here. But the last thing I guess we'll talk about here is Suicide Squad breaking records, $135 million, breaking the previous August record of Guardians of the Galaxy, making 94. So it's doing well money-wise, being not so well critical-wise, but...
Well, here's the thing. It proves two adages, really. One, that marketing does make it the movie. And two, it'll be interesting when Guardians 2 comes out compared to Suicide Squad 2. Like, which is going to make more?
Yeah.
I would bet Guardians 2, because it didn't leave a sour taste in the mouths of many people who saw it.
Yeah, very much so. It's all I keep hearing is people saying, "Oh, I didn't like this, I didn't like that." There's also people saying that just the media has a DC against DC bias. So
Well,
I don't know if that's
there's two things I saw. One is that the film, like, there's a director's cut of it out there somewhere, and it's a lot different from the actual film that they released. Like,
seems to be the theme for DC.
Well, yeah, but like the guys who did the Suicide Squad trailer like recut the movie, and it's like the trailer people cut this movie. No wonder like it's full of like pop songs and like flashbacks and like crap that barely makes no sense. Like that's the thing I've heard a lot is like the film barely makes sense because it's like two films jammed into one, and it's like yeah. That's what you get. Oh, there was something else I was gonna like rail about. Oh yeah, I have a friend who like looked at all of the DC movies versus like Marvel movies as like far as like rating, like critical reviews go, and he went back like 40 years, and it's not that the movie reviews are biased against DC. It's that they make worse films.
Yeah, except for the Batman films.
Yeah,
for the most part.
And even like the first one was kind of shaky on that one, and the third one for that matter. Like it's only Batman 2 that people like, or Dark Knight 2, I should say. But
yeah, that's true. Well, and the Tim Burton Batmans.
Yeah. But it's like when DC releases crap like Catwoman, Jonah Hex, it's like, what do you really expect? Oh, he did some other ones too. But yeah, I mean, Marvel releases the occasional bad film as well, but it's not been a part of their big cinematic universe because they're just trying to force the issue like DC has.
Yeah, well, because DC just wanted to get into the race and not take the time to actually build everything up.
Yeah.
So that's just how it is, Sadly.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, I think that's pretty much all we had, unless you have something.
Well, I was gonna say, like, Yeah, like the last 6 DC movies. Okay,
All
Let
right.
Suicide Squad, Batman vs Superman, Man of Steel, The Dark Knight Rises, Green Lantern, and Jonah Hex.
Oof.
And except for one of those, they're all under 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yikes. Not good.
Yeah, and the ironic thing is DC does a better job with their like not mainstream comics or not mainstream DC movies, like A History of Violence or V for Vendetta.
Oh, boy. Well, yeah, and I very much enjoyed V for Vendetta, actually.
Yeah,
Uh, so,
I thought it was really funny actually.
yeah, I loved it. Well, not just funny, just I thought it was a great commentary on things and very
Now,
well acted and everything else.
there's a super great inside joke in that movie. Want me to tell you it?
Yeah, go ahead. It's been a while.
The main bad guy is, I think, Adam Sutter. I think is the character's name, and he's played by John Hurt. And John Hurt he played Winston Smith in the film version of 1984.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. So he went from like being like the everyman or like the oppressed uh minority or something to like the big brother essentially.
Nice.
And he's not a bad doctor either.
Uh, Sorry, I'm sitting here.
Fading out.
No, I'm having to read something here, and they're uh, sending me things. I don't know why they send all this information that they want you to send, and they could just spell. They could certainly write it a lot easier, but it's whatever on their part. Um, all right. Yeah, just that's it for this week. Not a whole lot of news out there, but again, you never know what a week brings. We'll definitely be able to talk about No Man's Sky next week. Not a whole lot on the release front. You do get Metroid Federation Force, so that leads to my top 5 being the top 5 Metroid games. The old 4PC from last week that I did not get to post will be out on Friday. And then the top 5 will get posted whenever they feel like it, whether they post it on a Saturday or they just wait till Monday or whatever. What was your top 8 this week?
Top 8 worst people in gaming.
I'll see. Finally got a list down for that.
Yeah.
Huh? Hey, you should definitely read that. It's, it. So, who did you sort of pick and choose for?
Let's see. Gabe Newell was one of them. Randy Pitchford.
Yeah.
Kaiji Inafune. David Cage. Dennis Dyack. And Bobby Kotick. And I think the number one was Kagamasi Kozuki from Konami.
Can't complain about that, man. He ruined Konami. Damn it.
Pretty much. And my requirements for the list are basically like they have to actually be in game development that is current.
Right.
So like you and some other people suggested Anita Sarkeesian, and I'm like, yeah, she's terrible, but she's not like a game developer. So what do you want?
Too bad.
I should do like a top 8 worst media people or something like that.
There you go.
People ruining the game industry.
Kotaku #1. I'm just kidding.
Mr. Kotaku.
Yeah. You're also going to get Uno for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. I'm sure that's not going to be too bad. It's just Uno. Conception 2 Child of the Stars finally coming to PC. I'm sure there's people just waiting for that thing. And Bound, which is actually an indie game that I'm looking to check out, it's from David Jaffe, from guy that used to make God of War. And from the video I've seen, it's a very interesting concept that they use for that game. So I think people should have that on their radar. The Bound game, PS4 only. If you were on another system wondering where that was from, but yeah, all right, that's gonna do it for us this week. Be sure to check us out next week. Now Wednesday nights live, or pretty much Thursday morning period, on demand. We'll be there for your listening pleasure. Be sure to check out all the other shows on the WTM network. Give them a listen whether you like wrestling, football, fantasy football pretty soon, and even a culture podcast as well is out there. So, all right. Later, everybody.
Later.